Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. Let's talk. I mean, these things, I thought I somehow or the other kind of mentioned some of these things in my previous podcasts every now and then, but as I fall into thought and as I see of how people behave, both online, offline, the comments people give, the snide remarks, and when it comes to online, as I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you have a problem with a vlog or with a vlogger, stop watching. You're just earning more and more sins as a Muslim. If you're a Muslim, all you're doing is just earning more and more sins by entertaining your carnal desires, mainly jealousy and envy towards another person who you think is in a better place than you are. Remember, the grass is always greener on the other side. Number one. And number two, it also shows your state of mind. It actually says nothing about the vlogger that you are demeaning or degrading or humiliating, but it says a lot about you as a person, where you come from, and what your mentality is and what you stand for. Okay? Now, number three, when it comes to offline, because this is actually something that people do offline, and so they think that they can do it even more courageously online, because online there's nobody to see them. So it's the same, that idea of throwing things out in the void, in that abyss, in that darkness, in that virtual world where nothing is real. But unfortunately, the effects are real, as we have discussed so many times. Gone are the days when the internet really was that void and everybody just threw stuff into it, vented into it, and then forgot about it. Those days are long, 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 long gone. And it is with painful results and consequences that people realize that. And the fact that people are still doing that, it's beyond me. Listen, I don't know. I know it's probably going to be very hard for people to believe me when I say this, but I really do not get affected, and I do not care, if you put it that way, about what other people are doing with their lives, or what they have in their lives, or what they get in their lives. And I do not sit and compare what I have or do not have compared to what they have. In fact, that is the one thing that has always disturbed me. Why? Why compare? I mean, again, to you, it might be difficult to believe me when I say this, and you think, oh, no, she must have experienced envy, she must have compared herself. No, it has to be. Yeah, no, I'm sorry to disappoint you. In fact, what makes me surprised and what I find unbelievable is the fact that people who claim to believe in God, people who claim to have faith in God, and people who claim to believe in the hereafter, that they succumb to all of this. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I remember I said it in one of my previous podcasts that what I don't understand is that when you make somebody believe in something or learn something, that this is the way things are, and then in real life you come up and say, oh, these are just books, these are just in the books, you just leave them in the books, this is all fantasy, but in real life this is how things happen, and in real life this is, yeah, then why the frack are you teaching us these things in the books? Right? As I said, the first people who disown principles, the first people who lie to you, the first people who show you their true colors, the first people who hurt you, the first people who are hypocritical towards you, the first people who break you from whatever it is that you've learned are your parents, unfortunately. And that is the worst part. And that is why I keep on and on saying that parents may think that just because they're parents, they have a special place in heaven. But I do not believe so, because I do believe that in Islam, there are conditions laid out for parents in order to be parents. As the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, just giving birth to children alone does not make you a parent. You understand? So there are so many things you have to fulfill as parents in order to get that decree in heaven, as that status that you think that you've automatically earned in heaven. I'm sorry, it is not. It's never automatically earned. It is something that you have to earn properly, okay, through hard work and through fulfilling conditions. So again, back to this. What I find hard to believe is that if you have made me to learn right from the start that there is one God and that there is no God but Allah, right? And then you make me believe that, these are the codes that He's put in front of us. These are the principles, these are the laws, these are the rules, right? And then You make me believe that this is right and this is wrong, and do not do this and do this and do not do this and do this. And then you expect that I should now just put it aside and say, oh, these are just books. I mean, I'm understanding that that is what people are doing, but I find that hard to believe. That then why the claims? Why say, oh, alhamdulillah, we're Muslims, and then you go and do the exact same thing that you're not supposed to do? Why say, oh yeah, we do believe in God, we do believe in the life hereafter, but why can't we get what we want here? I don't get that. I'm sorry. I get the sorrow and the despair, the helplessness. I get that. Everybody goes through that. I went through that. I've gone through that. Listen, I've lived half of my life, more than half of my life. I've lived in complete peace and contentment. Okay, because my faith in God was so strong that I allowed anything and everything bad to happen to me in life with this belief that God has something in store for me. Then I spent the next part of my life beginning to resist and beginning to question and beginning to say, okay, when is he going to give me a motherfucking break already? Because from what we've learned, God is supposed to give you tests, then he's supposed to give you a break, and there's supposed to be ups and downs, right? But if there is a constant non-stop, no breaking, no catching a breath sort of a test that is going on and on and on, and it has no ending, then you have the right to scream out. Heck, even the prophets screamed. There's not a single prophet that came to this earth and did not complain to God in despair. I challenge you, okay? So don't even go there with me. Now, so that's not even my point again. My point is, when you know that whatever is in your destiny is what you're going to get, and if it's not there, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you will not get it, then you can resent God, and you can resent, you can fight him, you can do whatever it is, but it doesn't make sense you saying that, oh, why does this person have this thing and why don't I have this thing? That is what I don't get. The envy, the comparison, I have people who I know who say that, oh, when they talk about this particular subject, then it really hurts me because it takes me back to my time. What I'm really, this is something that is very painful to me, and I understand totally, but to be honest, it doesn't affect me. I can be going through the biggest shit in life, and you can come and tell me that, oh, you know what, I finally made this. And I will not even think for a second that, oh, she made it and I'm still here. No, actually, I don't know, but it just doesn't come to me. I don't think like that. It doesn't come to me. I am too busy focusing on whatever the shit is that I have, but I know that it has nothing to do with whatever it is that is going on in her life. In fact, it's the opposite. When I see people finally getting something done in their life, or when I see people getting something good from their life, it gives me hope. Because when I look at Palestine, when I look at Kashmir, when I look at Africa, when I look at parts of Asia, when I look at the way people are living beneath their dignity, when people are forced to live, without dignity, and they're forced to live in humiliation, and then that is my problem with God. I would compare all of us to that point where I'm like, why are you even doing this to your people? I know it's a test, and I know it's all that, but give them a freaking break every now and then, at least, so that they can recharge themselves, for crying out loud. So yeah, I do believe that God owes a lot to these people, okay? Test or no test, but I believe God owes his people a lot, especially these people that come under this whole sack of misfortune, right? Of non-stop tests, never-ending tests, no results, just test, and it's like, frack you already, there. But again, But these kind of weird ass things that people do, where they're like, where they have a lot in their own lives, but they're so busy focusing on what others have that they do not give a shit about what it is that they have. I have a problem with those people. And I have a problem with people who are always out there giving snide remarks to other people who finally get some hope, some semblance of happiness. I don't get that. As I said, to me, if anything, it gives me some hope that, oh, God isn't all that bad after all. Maybe he's effed me up, he's effed the people of Palestine up, he's effed the people of Kashmir up, he's effed the people of Pakistan up to a large extent. Look at what is going on in Azad Kashmir and Balochistan. Look what happened to us in Punjab. Look what's been happening for a long time in Balochistan. Look at what's going on in KPK. I mean, in Sindh, the whole Pakistan. I mean, if you generally look at it, look at all the people who are suffering at the hands of traitors, and what they're going through. And kudos to those who are fighting back. As I said, the Punjabis, really, I want to just smack the Punjabis to shit, seriously, because you suffered the most. We Punjabis, we suffered the most. What have we done? But look at the people of Kashmir. They're not backing down. And kudos to them. Kudos to them. Look at the people of Balochistan. They're not backing down. This is how we all should have done. If we had all done that, then these people who are on our heads, they would have been effed to kingdom comes, seriously. But anyway, point being, again, as I said, when I look at somebody who is finally smiling, who's getting something out of his life, to me, I'm like thinking, okay, God, I might forgive you after all. You might not be Satan after all. That is the way I think. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, thank you so much. You didn't do jack shit for me, but thank you so much for at least giving the other person a freaking break. So yeah, this is how I think. So I really don't understand people who think the way they think, where they are constantly saying, oh, I don't have this, why do they have this? It's not like you don't have anything. Now, if people who have nothing at all, if they get that rage, that envy, that jealousy, it's even then understandable. It's understandable. But when people who refuse to work for what they want, and people who refuse to struggle for what it is that they want, people who just want shortcuts, people who just want dishonest ways of getting something, quick, fast ways of getting something, I'm sorry, I have no empathy for you, and I do not even understand how you think that you are justified. And especially again, if you're a Muslim, and you do that, and then you say, but yeah, God is merciful. No, he's not. I'm sorry, I don't know what Islam you're studying, but God is not merciful in your transgressions towards other people. He is only merciful in your transgressions towards him. And this is again something I've said many times in my previous podcasts. And he is also merciful to something that has nothing whatsoever to do with other humans around you, in other words, okay? But there are two things that God will never forgive. Shirk, any form of shirk, minor, major, doesn't matter. Any form of shirk, and any transgression towards another human being. Totally unforgiven. Hands off. It's completely hands off for God there, okay? That is the one thing he has promised us, that you know what, I am going to F your life till kingdom comes, right? But there is one thing I promise you, that if anybody else F's your life, I'm going to F their hereafter. Okay, so there you are. There is no forgiveness. Okay, so when you go around doing these things and you think, oh, you know what, at the end we'll do tawbah and we'll do astaghfar. No, I'm sorry. Again, tawbah and astaghfar is only for that thing that you have done against God. It is not for that thing that you've done against another human being. You have to go and apologize to that human being, and it's up to them whether they want to forgive you or not. And believe me, yes, mercy is an attribute of God, and we're not gods. God is ever forgiving. We are not gods. We are human beings. We do not forgive. And we certainly do not forget. Okay? So keep that in mind before you go around giving your snide remarks to people. And also, please understand, again, if you are really, really a believer, if you really do believe in God and in the Quran and in the Hadith and whatever it is that he's put forward, believe, then I'm telling you, these thoughts wouldn't even come into your mind. The thought that, I need to snatch this thing away from the other person. This thing needs to belong to me. Even today, I mean, in fact, especially today, you see that more and more and more, where you see even relatives trying to snatch properties from relatives, and they don't even have the right. You have second cousins and aunts and uncles coming in and thinking that, oh, okay, because this is a girl, she's a girl, or because it's an only child, okay, let's just try to now harass them and threaten them and blackmail them and, torture them and get all their property. Like, in what world? Seriously, in what world? This is, remember, I've done many podcasts on my biggest problem with Desis, with the people of Pakistan. And my biggest problem with them is that they literally believe that they have rights onto others. You don't. They literally believe that every one of them, they actually believe that they have rights. You don't. If somebody is being nice to you, if somebody is being kind to you, if somebody is being generous to you, you do not have the right. It is just their generosity, their kindness. It is their greatness. Okay? It's not their duty. You understand? In fact, you have duties too. Okay? If you think others have duties onto you, you have duties too. This fact that we have the right to take, this has become, it is so toxic, it is in the blood of the people of Pakistan, and it is so toxic that you literally see it even, and you see it in beggars. You even see it in beggars. They think, oh, we have to, it's your duty. And even when somebody's coming to you for help, I'm sorry to say, but even when somebody's coming to you for help, for financial help, the first 2-3 times they will cry, we're dead, our parents are dead, our whole family is dying, oh, we've got cancer, or this and that. And, they'll just create a whole drama out of it, and they'll ask for help, knowing that you will not always be in the position to give them financial help. And many times you'll probably ask your friends around you to give you that to add to donate and give charity, and then and then they come again, because now they think that because you gave them once, so they have a right to ask from you, and that now it is your duty to give it to them every time. Like, what the frack is wrong with you people? Seriously, what is wrong with you people? And then you actually have the gall to say that you're Muslims. I mean, these are the very things that in the Quran and the Hadith are defined as people who are not Muslims, as people who will not be treated as Muslims after their deaths. And don't you think, again, that at the end, before your deathbed, you will do tawbah and astaghfar and God will forgive you? No, He will not. Please understand what you're reading in the Quran and in the Hadith. Again, the tawbah is only for the sins that you have committed within yourself, and it is between you and God. But any act, any word, any hurt, any wrongs, any transgressions, any sins committed towards another human being is unforgivable. It cannot be forgiven. There is no tawbah for it. There is no kuffara for it. There is nothing unless the person accepts it. You have to go and kneel down in front of that person. You have to go and compensate that person. And if he does not agree to it, if he does not accept it, you're fucked. I'm sorry, but you're fucked, because that's it. Because you cannot force somebody to. I've seen people also that they literally go and they try to force people to forgive. Excuse me? Are you even in your senses? And then everybody makes a crowd and they say, oh, forget it. Forget. Again, this is not in Islam. In Islam, you're supposed to berate the person who wronged the other person. You're not supposed to stand and try to pressurize the victim into forgiving the perpetrator. That's not how it works in Islam. Again, what the frack have you people been studying? Because this is not Islam. In Islam, everything is clear cut, dried. Justice comes first, mercy is second. Please note, in Islam, there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. Everything is deliberate. And the fact that justice is mentioned first in the Quran and mercy second, it should tell you where Islam stands. It should, I'm seriously, if that also doesn't tell you, I don't know what will. Justice first, mercy second. Please repeat after me. Justice first, mercy second. Okay? Your priorities are not mercy. Your priorities are not forgiveness. Your priorities are justice. In fact, again, I've said this a million times before in my podcasts. When you are a law student, and when you do your research, and when you do your thesis, and when you do your dissertations, and when you make out precedents, you will know that Islamic law is the only law in which, in the Islamic jurisprudence, justice is the main frame. No other law has justice as its main frame or backbone of jurisprudence. But in Islamic jurisprudence, it is founded upon the theme of justice. Again, justice first, mercy second. Keep that in mind, please, before you go around just spouting whatever it is that comes out of your potty holes, right? So yeah, I mean, I've had enough of all of these. I'm just going to again to people who go around yapping online and offline, people who go around making remarks online and offline, people who just have to open their mouths. Also remember this, that you are not a Muslim if other Muslims are not safe from your hands and your mouths. Again, how many of you are going to tell me that you have a clear conscience here? How many of you are going to actually tell me that that people have been safe from your mouths and your hands? 99% of people in this country have filled with disrespect alone. You hurt people with your mouths, you hurt people with your hands. You know, the way our government right now, the way our government and army, they have been hurting people both with their mouths and their hands is a very good example. The way our own people have been hurting others with their mouths and their hands is a good example. And you know what I find very, very funny and obnoxious is that people who call themselves followers of Imran Khan and people who call themselves, fans of Imran Khan and supporters and voters of Imran Khan, and, even they did not hesitate to slander his wife, Bushra Bibi, based on rumors spread by whom? By the government. Like, it was so obvious. This is the same Nawaz Sharif that spread rumors against Benazir Bhutto. This is the same Nawaz Sharif that spread rumors against Jumaima Khan. This is the same Nawaz Sharif that spread rumors against Bushra Bibi. And there's only one person against whom they never spread any rumors. Surprise or surprise, Reham Khan. That mistake of a marriage that Imran Khan did. And now here is again, this shows you, as the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that a man's worth, a man's dignity, a man's worth, a man's character can be seen by the way he treats women. That a Muslim is he who honors women. And a man is the lowest of the low if he slanders a woman or if he talks against his wife in public. Now look at Imran Khan. He never talked against Jumaima Khan. Never. And there was nothing to talk against her anyway. The only reason they ended up divorcing is because of politics and because of Pakistan, because of Nawaz Sharif, because of the people of Pakistan. And so it was basically safer for Jumaima to just take the kids and leave, right? Otherwise, there was no problem between Imran Khan and Jumaima Khan. Now look at the quality, look at the dignity, look at the mental level of these two. Why are they still our most favorite couple? Why do we always say, oh, the real couple is Imran Khan and Jumaima Khan? Those two matched each other. Those two suited each other. He never said a word. You know what? She never said a word. They were both popular people. They were both always in the media. They were both celebrities in their own rights. She was a socialite, he was a cricketer, and then a budding politician. So they were both in the limelight 24/7. And yet, did anybody get any whiff of any scandal during the divorce? The whole world knew that they divorced because of Nawaz Sharif's antics, because of Nawaz Sharif's politics, because of Pakistan. And it was such a private and a quiet and a peaceful, and it was a mutually respected, is the way that Islam says, as Islam also says that ideally you should just reach a mutually respected conclusion if you feel that you cannot go further on in marriage. And that is exactly how they dealt with it. Now just look at the level of these two people, right? And then look at yourselves. Look at the other celebrities who come and start bad mouthing about their wives. The point is, okay, and here I'm going to come to the next point. You will now say that, oh, those celebrities have been talking against their wives because their wives were also talking against them. Okay, let's come to Reham Khan. Reham Khan was basically a spy. Imran Khan was actually a fool to get married to her because he was literally warned, in case people forgot about that, but he was literally warned by the intelligence agencies that she was a suspected spy and that he should do well to stay away from her. But he did not believe them, he did not heed them, and he got married to her. And then he found out very badly later on, very badly, when she started to encroach upon his politics, upon his party, when she started to under false pretenses take money in the name of some media stuff or some charity stuff or whatever, and how she was constantly trying to interfere in his politics, basically because that is what she was sent to do. She was sent to sabotage his political career. And so when he divorced her again, it was found out that obviously she had very close ties to Shehbaz Sharif, that she was probably his girlfriend or mistress even. And the point here now is, notice how she was literally made by Shehbaz Sharif and Nawaz Sharif and their family members to go all out and talk against him and make rumors, and deliberately just to humiliate him, just to pinch him, just to force him to say something. They made her say all sorts of stuff about him. They actually even wrote a book. It was a ghostwriter, thank you very much. She was not the writer. These people are never writers. They actually hire ghostwriters. And these writers work closely with politicians. And then they are basically given a whole dictation on what should be in the script. So then they get the whole book ready and it gets published, right? Her book, as you know, did not fare well because people were like, what the frack is this woman doing, So it didn't bode well for her. Now the point is, in all their efforts to force him to speak up or speak out, they made her talk shit throughout in the media. And guess what? He never said a word. He never came forward and said a word. He never spoke out against her. That tells you what kind of a man he is. As a Muslim and as a man, that tells you that he is actually literally trying to fulfill whatever it is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, did say, that how a good man should behave, how a man should act, how a man should behave, and how a man should treat his wife, both present and former, during marriage and after a divorce. And that man has followed it to the T. And that is why, again, he's preserved his dignity, right? Never once did he slander Reham Khan. People tried to slander her. People tried to cover for her. Lots went on, but never a word from him. Okay? So he kept her honor. He kept his honor. Now, you have Bushra Bibi, his current wife. Again, as I said, Nawaz Sharif went all out, once again spreading rumors about her. Again, look at the dignity of this lady. She didn't say a word. Not a single word. She's been tortured. She's been called names. She's been called a gold digger. Although, why would she be a gold digger? Nobody even understood. But okay, the PTI's own members spread rumors against her, again without verifying. And as you know, this is one of the biggest sins in Islam. According to the Prophet, peace be upon him, the biggest sin that you can ever commit is slandering a woman, character assassination of a woman, defamation of a woman, and then without verification. Even with verification, it is a sin, but without verification, that is like the sins, the mother of sins. When you cannot verify a fact and you spread that information, whatever that information is, you will be a liar and you will be in hell. You will go straight to hell for being a liar and for being one of those who spread lies, because you didn't even verify, you didn't even confirm, and you just went on and spread the rumors. So yes, again, unforgivable sin. Look at how many unforgivable sins we keep accumulating every day, and then we think we'll just sit down and say, oh, tawbah, astaghfar, and we'll be forgiven. No, you will not be forgiven, because these are sins committed against another person. It's not a sin committed against yourself or God. So we're slandering Bushra Bibi, and then we're thinking, oh, we are all for Imran Khan. You know what? If, as Imran Khan made it very clear, if you really, really respect him, you will respect his wife. If you're disrespecting his wife, it means you're disrespecting him. In other words, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You're lying. You actually have no solidarity with Imran Khan or his ideologies, and you're not even a fan of his, even if you claim to be a fan of. Because I know that I would never disrespect somebody he holds so dear. It just is just not even understandable. Cannot understand it. I could never understand it before. I still cannot understand it. I have warned people time and again whenever they came in front of me and tried to bitch about Bushra Bibi. I'm like, first of all, you don't know her. Second of all, you're slandering a woman. Third of all, you claim to be a supporter of Imran Khan, and yet you're insulting his own wife. You're not even a Muslim. On all three accounts, you're not even a Muslim. I'm sorry. Forget being a decent human being. You're not even a Muslim. I mean, like, what are you at this point? So again, I do not understand people who think this way, okay? People who think, oh, when somebody comes to me and talks about these things, it makes me feel so much pain because I go back. That, as I said, is something that I cannot comment on, because that is something that does not happen to me. You can come to me and talk about all your ups and downs. You can talk about all the good things that are happening to you. And, well, mashallah, I think I should say at this point, I do not for even a millisecond think about myself or try to compare my situation with yours. If anything, I will always be extremely happy for you. As I said, the way I think is that you're giving me a chance to think positive about God, who I'm most probably thinking very negatively about at this point. You're actually giving me something to be positive about. That's how I think, okay? I am very happy for other people's happinesses, and I will not say that I always care about other people's sadnesses, but I do empathize. Care in the sense is that I cannot promise you that I actually will feel your pain, because to be honest, to me it's very hypocritical to say that. Even your own parents cannot feel your pain, okay? I'm sorry, but yeah, if your parents the one thing I find very hypocritical and very ironical and very stupid is when people go around, expressing their solidarity with parents because of what their children are going through. Yeah, their children are going through it. They are not going through it. They have no idea of what their children are going through. They cannot feel the pain. So explain to me why you're going and expressing your solidarity with the parents. Like, seriously, why? I cannot feel another person's pain. Nobody can feel my pain. My parents are not going through what I am. They have lived their lives. They've done whatever the fuck it is that they wanted to do. They enjoyed their lives. They have lived fully. They can never understand the pain that I am going through. I'm sorry, but it's impossible. Similarly, when you go to parents and say, oh, your children, oh, they went through so much. Oh, I'm sure you must be feeling the pain. And the parents are like, yeah. Excuse me? What pain are you feeling? What what the frack did you go through? Tell me first, like seriously. The pain of failure is probably what you're feeling. Yeah, you probably feel the pain of failure. But otherwise, seriously, don't even try to tell me that you can feel the pain of whatever it is that your child is going through. Because you're two separate people. We cannot feel other people's pain, okay? It's very rare. When we have heightened empathy, then it feels as if we can feel a part of the other person's pain. Yes, that is something else. But generally, normally, no. And take it from me, because I can actually sometimes feel another person's pain. But I can tell you that even I cannot feel their pain. All I can feel is their extreme emotion and empathize with it to that level where I cannot see them in pain. Get it? That's a different thing. But to say that, oh, they're feeling nauseous. Oh, I can feel nauseous too. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. Okay? So I believe that these are signs of people who do not have faith. Or in other words, who people do not really believe in whatever it is that they read or studied about Islam, about God, about his teachings, about the hadith. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just think, oh yeah, so we believe that God exists, full stop. After that, it's like nothing at all. You know, the life hereafter, the sins, the transgressions, the, you know, being careful, you know, taking every step, making every choice, making every decision, thinking 100 times. No such thing, nothing. It doesn't even touch their brains to think that way. No. Because people are literally living in the moment, and they're living in this life, and they, to be honest, people actually do not believe in life hereafter. I mean, I've come to this conclusion. I came to this conclusion a very long time ago, because I believe that if you actually remember your death, you wouldn't do the things you're doing. Believe me, because when you lie down at night and when you imagine yourself in your grave, believe me, you would never want to do anything in life, okay? So forget about whatever it is that you people are going around doing. Life doesn't hold any meaning for you if you really believe that there is a life hereafter, that we have come from there, we have to go back there, we have to be accountable for whatever it is. If you actually believe in that, which again, as I said, people don't. This in itself is proof that people don't. They don't believe in life hereafter. They don't believe in this whole thing. They just believe that, okay, there is a God, there may be a God, but he's merciful, we can do whatever we want, and at the end we'll just say Tawbah, Astaghfar, and he'll forgive us. Hail Mary to that, you know. The Christians will go Hail Mary, and the Muslims will go Tawbah, Astaghfar, and that's it. But I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that's not how it works. And again, as I said, it means that you also think that these are just books. You know, kitabi batein, you know, these are just what you read in the books. They don't apply to real life. Now, real life is all about seeing what you can take. It's about doing whatever you can to get to whatever goal it is that you want to get to. And it is all about, you know, it's not about right and wrong, but it's about who reaches there first, you know. Seriously, that's how people think. And that is why they wouldn't mind harming other people in the way. They actually do not even have the common sense to realize that if we all work together, then we all become successful. Nobody gets left behind. You know, that is why we keep on saying in unity lies strength. But people don't believe in that. No, it's people believe that it's all for himself, all for oneself. That the me factor comes in every time. And that is how you end up hurting people. That is how parents end up hurting children. That's how siblings end up hurting each other. That's how strangers end up hurting each other. That's how you have people who are not even worth it coming into authority and then hurting the whole world, you know. That is how we come to where we are, because we actually do not believe. We claim to believe, but the truth is we do not believe. Because as I said, if we actually believed, believe me, we wouldn't be doing 80% of the things we're doing. in this world. We just wouldn't. We wouldn't even be able to, you know. So, and again, as I said, and thinking about things in this world being important enough to have jealousy for another person, yeah, because this world wouldn't hold any meaning, you know. The world, it's the worldly things, the people, the whatever, nothing holds meaning, nothing. The only thing that holds meaning then in this world, when you really believe, is what people are doing to you, what you are doing to other people, how people are hurting you, how people are causing you harm, how people are messing with your inner soul and mind, and ultimately how is that going to mess up your hereafter. These are the only things that end up mattering to you, nothing else. Not the fact that you are jobless, not the fact that you have nothing, not the fact that these things hurt, they keep on hurting, but at the end of the day, seriously, they do not hold enough meaning for you to then go and hurt other people just to get those things. You know what I'm saying? They hurt a lot. They hurt enough for you to even curse God out, yes. But because you know that this is temporary, you know that nothing in this world matters, so you will never go out of your way, cross all boundaries just to get that. Yeah, you only do that when you do not believe, and when you actually believe that this world is the be all end all. So yeah, call it compartmentalization or whatever. Yeah, okay, so I'm good at compartmentalizing things. It doesn't affect me, seriously. It does not affect me what other people have in their lives or do not have. Okay, the only thing that affects me is how I can save myself from people who are causing me loss, and what I can do to redeem that loss within the boundaries. And if I cannot redeem that loss, then how can I move forward? And if somebody's blocking me from moving forward, how to remove that person as an obstacle. And these are all, as I said, these are all things that have more and more to do with your mind, with your soul, with what matters, not with worldly benefits, or not with the thought that this world is the be all end all. It is to do with the long view of how this life will ultimately end. That's all. Hope people actually do understand, because as I said, to me, I think people are just thinking that whatever they've read in the Quran is like, oh, okay, it's good, it's great, it's God's words. Yeah, but in real life, in real life we have to do, yeah, that's how people think. Well, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.